Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Growing the Ozarks. My name is Kelly McGowan, and I am with University of Missouri Extension. And today we're going to talk about some options for growing in winter. So for those of us that like to garden and like to have our plants, winter can be a pretty tough month because we're not able to spend time outdoors like we normally would. So I've got a couple of things that you might try going into winter, and one is houseplants. So houseplants are more popular than ever, and they are really a great hobby for people of all ages. And we're pretty fortunate here in Springfield and even the surrounding areas that we have a lot of great plant shops and nurseries that you can visit and purchase plants. Now, a couple of tips on growing houseplants is that they need bright indirect light. So when you get your plants home, you want to put them in a bright window. Most can't really tolerate direct sun, so make sure they're not getting, bright, direct afternoon sun, but indirect light is fine. If you find that you don't have good lighting with your windows, grow lights can be used and work quite well with houseplants. Another thing to be aware of in winter with our houseplants is drafty windows. So most of our typical houseplants are tropical. They're native to tropical areas of the world, and if you put them in front of a drafty window, the cold air can certainly damage those plants. So keep that in mind. And then the most important thing for houseplants is watering. So more houseplants are killed by incorrect watering than any other way. So learn about your plants, learn about their watering needs. Some need watered when they're dry to the touch, so make sure that you're not overwatering. And then when you're watering your plants, monitor them for insect pests, mealybugs, spider mites, things like that can be an issue with indoor plants, so watch out for that as well. And then as far as fertilizing houseplants in the wintertime, houseplants are not doing a lot of active growing, so they don't need a lot of fertilizer. So just a very weak diluted fertilizer every 2 to 4 weeks is perfect, and that's really all you need to do. Another thing we can do for growing in the wintertime is growing hydroponically. And there has been a lot of technological advances in growing hydroponically over the last few years. And now you can purchase small tabletop units that work really well on a kitchen counter or in an extra bedroom. They're not very large. And you can grow a lot of different things in these small tabletop units. I've grown things like lettuce, herbs, cherry tomatoes, even peppers. And there are a lot of miniature varieties of vegetables that you can find on the market that work perfectly for these small hydroponic units. And they produce pretty well. I have had tomatoes in December, and you can't beat that. So a lot of different things we can grow. As far as your hydroponic unit, it is going to need an air pump, and these are typically similar to what you would use for a fish aquarium, and these aerate the water. So the plants are growing in the water, but the root system still needs air, so you need to make sure that you have this aquarium pump to aerate that water. And unlike plants that are growing in the ground and taking up nutrients from the soil, you will need to add fertilizer to your water in a hydroponic system. And this is going to depend on the type of crop that you're growing. We do have some guide sheets on this on our extension website, which is extension.missouri.edu, that you can review for those nutrient management plans. And then also on hydroponic units, they need good quality grow lights. So for our house plants, we can get by with a little bit more of a low quality light, but for things like vegetables, they need a better quality light with more of a wide range of light spectrum. So invest in that if you are wanting to grow vegetables indoors. The last thing that I'll mention is seed starting. So Seed catalogs will start to arrive in the mail soon, and they can be a great place for education, for new ideas. So certainly take advantage of those to learn about new things and maybe order some seeds you've never grown before. The main thing I want to say about starting seeds indoors is don't plant too early. Follow the label on the seed package and make sure that you're not starting too early or too late for starting those seeds. Seed starting also needs good grow lights as well, so make sure that you're providing that for your seedlings and they should be off to a great start. So those are some tips for growing in winter, and this has been Kelly McGowan, your host for Growing the Ozarks.